Hello, hello. Welcome back to Built Different Podcast, the DPT edition. My name is Aaron J. Kennedy, student doctor.
All right. My name is DeKevis Perry. I'm a student doctor as well, physical therapy.
Whoop, whoop. And we
That's right.
represented our white coats today.
That's right. That's right.
How are you
That's right.
feeling? It's been a little while since we were able to sit down and talk. We've been through a couple of things since our last episode, lab immersion, white coat ceremony, and even starting our first clinical rotation. It's like, how are you feeling?
Man, I feel great. I genuinely feel great. Just feel like I didn't accomplish like a lot of my short-term goals. So, especially within this program, it's been a journey, of course, as you know. You've been there with me. So, I feel like it's been great. So I feel awesome. Just looking forward to what's to come, honestly. I know we're in clinicals and everything like that. So, man, can you talk a little bit about how your first week has been in clinicals? I know we're in the beginning of our second week, but how has your first week been? Like, give us some
Oh,
feedback.
oh man, first week is kind of insane. I am in an outpatient acute care setting, so
Hmm.
people who just had any type of injuries are fresh out, and we got to get them moving. And I've seen people with neurological issues. I've seen orthopedic issues. I had to deal with even family members and how to talk and the documentation of it all, which everyone loves. But it's been a blessing. It's been
Yeah.
quite the experience, and I am fully I truly understand that I am built for this profession,
Yeah,
absolutely hands down. So,
for
how about
sure.
yourself?
For sure. So I'm in outpatient and we kind of see all walks of life. So you never know what you're going to see. You know, like we saw a kid that was 5 years old. So we saw a pediatric patient one day. And then we also see patients who are 105 years old. So literally all walks of life in outpatient. It's very fun. It's a faster pace. So you'll see more of a higher caseload, but the patients are more cognitive, so they're aware of what they're doing and things of that nature. So it's just kind of keeping them going within their daily routines, just trying to fit them in where their life, sees physical therapy in there,
Mm.
however they prioritize that. So it's pretty good, man. I really do. I've grown. My love for outpatient has grown because initially I was like, I definitely don't want to do outpatient because I thought that it was going to be like assembly line, but it's not like that, especially when you work for a better company. Like some companies, they push for numbers, some push for quality. It's hard to get the happy medium. So I feel like the company that I am with, they do a really good job of making sure that there's a good ratio for that. So. Been having a great time. Great time. I didn't even get to ask, how are you feeling at the beginning? I want to make sure we get to that. So sorry about that.
How am I feeling just
Yeah.
about everything that
Yeah.
has happened?
Yeah. So how are
Oh,
you feeling in general? Hey.
I mean, I feel like I'm on cloud nine. This is a
Yeah.
dream, truly come true. Kind of sucks that we had lab immersion during our white coat ceremony, but
Yeah.
pros and cons of being in a hybrid program, still work to be done. Um, so I was just glad
Sure.
to get through lab, and the day where we got to walk across that stage and we received our white coats and our families being there, just it was almost an out of body experience because you remember how much that you had to go through to get to that moment, and we still have work that needs to be done, but at this point in time to just really be where we're at in life is just an incredible blessing. So I am happy. I go to my clinic every single day with a smile. The patients are like, Aaron is always laughing and always
Yeah.
smiling. I'm like, there's a lot to laugh and smile about.
That's right.
So um, it's interesting because in another podcast episode, I said, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be with geriatrics, that
Yeah.
population."
Yeah.
I love the geriatric patients, you out there. I love y'all.
I told you, man. I told you. It's like every one of them becomes like your best friend, man. It's like and they have the little personality, so it's like, man, I love it, man. It's a lot of wisdom and a lot to be learned inside of a geriatric population. So
It is. It
I'm
is.
glad you're experiencing that. Truly, man.
But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It is. I think the oldest person I've worked with was 102.
Really.
So yeah, I'm like, that's crazy. It's crazy work.
Yeah.
So
Isn't
um,
that cool though? Like 102? Like what?
102. That's all your secrets. To
Yeah.
exist.
Hey. No words. That's crazy. Okay. Um, so going back to kind of some of the questions that I've been getting, we do want to try kind of talk about that a little bit because we know we've got a bunch of questions from you guys and things like that. So we want to address just a couple of them before we get back on to how our journey has been. So first question that I have for you, Aaron, is what patient experience or case from your time in PT school has had the greatest impact on you or left you with the most lasting impression and why?
Is this question specifically tailored to like the didactic work or just in general?
Um,
I know.
it says patient experience or case from PT school. So I would just say for your first week, has any patient case left a lasting impression on you? How about that? Because I prefer like a real time versus those cases we be having in lab and stuff is, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um, yes, there's been a couple of just patient experiences that I feel like that I'm always going to remember.
Hmm.
But there is one in particular that stands out the most to me at the moment, and it is actually a negative experience with a patient where
Wow.
they felt like that they were trapped like within the inpatient care. They just really wanted to go home.
Hmm.
And the thing is, as a physical therapist, our goal, specifically in the inpatient acute care setting, we are trying to prepare you for the next step, whether that is home health or whether that is getting you to a skilled nursing facility or going out and being able to have access to outpatient or even a long-term care facility as well. That is our role, and a lot of people want to rush the process and don't really realize the severity of their injury and what that ultimately will dictate lifestyle once you leave the acute care setting. So um, it was actually quite a scene that happened, and it just really opened my eyes up to like, hey, I need to make sure that I am very honest, very clear, and make sure the patient understands not only my role, but how I can get them to the goals that they seek and how I'm here to work with them.
Yeah.
So it was, like I said, it wasn't the greatest experience in a sense of like seeing the interaction that was transpiring, but if it's if it's not anything, it's solidifying on how important our job is in this space. How about you?
Absolutely. And I'm sorry you had that experience, but I know you can only learn from it, right? We always take optimistic kind of point of view on things like that. So um, I know that you only grow from it, and you'll become the best PT that you can from that. So, man, thank you for sharing that. And moving forward, I know you're gonna kill it from here. You know, you're gonna be more prepared if that does happen. Be able to redirect and go from there. So, yeah. It's gonna be like that though, just like we talked about in that one episode where I was like, you know, whatever patient that is, I'm ready for you. You know what I mean? When I say that, so
Exactly.
that's the truth.
Exactly.
Like Like sometimes we don't know what we're going to walk into. So that's something I definitely look forward to as well. Just being able to experience the difficult times as well as I am the good times. So, all right. So for me, I would say, um, let me think, greatest impact. Just being able to talk to patients about, them trusting how much trust they have inside of us as caregivers. I think that is like a surreal moment for me. Just having somebody come to me to figure out how to better their own life. I think that really means like the world to me because I'm sitting there, I've studied for all these years and I have all this knowledge, and somebody's really trusting me to tell them how to live their life in the best way for them to be healthy, and not only physically but also mentally. And that just sits home with me in a different way because I know that I'm not always asking somebody. I only feel safe with certain people. So them being able to do that and feeling safe with me, it just like wow, you know. It's just like you're talking about that surreal moment when we walked across the stage. That's definitely how it feels for me. Especially the first week, like going through our clinicals, I was just like, this is really good. And then my CI really trusted me with the patients, like, and just giving me great feedback at the end of every one of them. It's just like, wow. Like I really, it just helps build my confidence, but at the same time, I'm also there to be a sponge to learn. So I love it.
I I love that so much because I've also had similar experiences with that, aside from that particular incident.
Hmm.
Um, Being able to feel very confident in our knowledge that we've gotten in our program and being able to apply it, and then the patients in turn trust us, even as students, in order to help bring them very, very good care. That makes my day every single moment. It really
Yeah.
does. Um, you have a lot of experience underneath your belt, outside of the program, and you get to bring it all together in these moments. And I feel like you give the patients like a really good experience and create a better therapeutic alliance with them. So it's just when we are doing when we are walking in an alignment to how we are designed and what we want our lives to be designed, and have that opportunity to implement it with patience and grow from it and get the feedback from our CIs and work on our craft, it makes this experience so worthwhile. It really does.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Love it, man. Like it's like a dream, you dream and dream and dream, and then the moment comes, it's just like, wow, like I'm really here, and I can only give praise to the man above, so
Amen.
we're here for
Amen.
it.
I do I do have a question for you.
Okay.
How did you feel when your CI turned to you and asked you, okay, what's next? That first moment where they're like, okay, what do we do now after patient presents, whatever?
Yeah, so I did. So my CI, I don't know if it was just like the first, he was just trying to, throw basic level stuff at me, but he had a patient who had a total knee replacement, and he just like turned to me. He's like, all right, so where are we gonna put the Goni for the landmarks? Mid everything. The patient there, the patient looks at me, he looks at me. So I just like, where's the goatee? Like, you know. So he went and we got a goatee out, and everything just came back from all of our skills in lab and over the course of this program. So I felt really prepared during that time. Um, Another time I got asked a question was like, there was a patient who had like some cervical issues, which is like neck issues for our viewers. So he had some neck issues, and we had to do. He was like, "What are some good special tests to do on this patient?" And I started naming a couple off, and then the main one that I'm shocked that I was like, "Oh yeah, this is a good one." I said the Sperling's test, and he even was like, "Oh yeah, that is a really good test." So. it made me feel good. Like I said, it was like a confidence booster. Like I was like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it
Absolutely.
made me feel like, yeah, like I know my stuff kind of thing. So felt really good. How about you? What did you feel like when your professor first turned, I mean, your CI first turned to you and was like, what is this?
Oh
What do you
man.
do next?
We had got a patient. This was right after an eval when we were checking out to see just like some movement discrepancies. And she turned to me and was like, well, left side doesn't look greater than the right side. I think you should perform an MMT. And I was like, oh, say less.
Oh yeah.
Say less.
Yeah.
For people watching, MMT is a manual muscle test. That's when
Hmm.
we check specific limbs in order to see just their strength, that they're able to go against gravity, how much they're able to resist the force that we do put on them. And we use that as an objective measure so we can compare from one side to another or just anything, even gross mechanics. So I did that easy, that's I
Yeah.
do that in my sleep at this point. but
Right.
but
It's nothing.
but the but the question was is like, okay, so like what intervention do you want to like take this patient through?
Yeah.
And I chose some gait mechanics to focus on. I focused on hip flexion specifically for this patient and some knee extension just because they had relative quadricep weakness in comparison from the left to the right. So, you know, this was the 102-year-old patient.
Oh man. Well,
So
hey.
you also had to take in consideration her cardiorespiratory health as well. So
Yeah.
she can't do laps all
Yeah.
day.
Listen. When I get a patient like that, man, they can do whatever they want, man. Honestly, I was just like, I'm amazed. Like,
I call her our superstar. Every time I see her, I'll be like,
hey,
superstar.
every time I'm telling you, truly
So,
superstars.
um, it's funny because when we do things in school, we kind of don't see how it's going to be applied when we get to our clinical setting. But I'm first week out here, so, well, technically second week out here now. I can definitely see how things get tied into the clinical setting just from our lab cases.
Yeah,
And one of the questions that I have is just talking about the case study examples of the lab immersion performance and how to be successful from those performance testing. So I wanted to pick your mind about how does the preparation for the lab practicals translate into being prepared for actual clinical practice?
yeah, that's a great question. So in lab, how we prepare for the cases is like we will come in like 20 minutes before we're supposed to have our exam or lab practical. And then we'll take a look at the case, kind of plan out the interventions and how we're gonna kind of initiate the treatment with the patient. We look at the precautions, all the things that they have going on, if they have like comorbidities, which is like multiple things going on at once. So we look at all that 20 minutes before the patient, before we go see the patient inside the lab practical. And that translates directly to clinicals because um, we will get a referral from a doctor or things like that, and we'll do a case review pretty much and look at the patient, what they have going on, how we'll address them when they do get to us, and you kind of have in your mind already like an idea what's going on based off of the entire diagnosis and the things that they have found within the MRI and X-rays and things like that. So being able to fully look at that and then the patient get to you, you see what they can and can't do, with the special test that Aaron and I were just talking about, and that'll help you further get to exactly what's going on with them. And a lot of times you are able to kind of figure out what's very weak or what's strong, and kind of give them, kind of a rough idea of what you think is going on. But there are cases where you do have to see further evaluation on them to figure things out. You got to see how they present after you treat them with those exercises at the initial evaluation just to see if that will make a difference. Sometimes you have to deviate that plan and go into more detailed or try to target other things that may be causing problems as well. So I think lab definitely prepares for that because we have some really good actors as professors or professors that are actors, and they present in all ways. So and so do the patients in real life. So that's how I think they did.
We definitely have some actors as professors and professors act. It's one of those, but they have two jobs. They definitely have two.
Man, that school is paying them good money, man. Good.
I definitely will also I will agree with you. I think our school does a really good job of being realistic and presenting in what we would consider in that moment unrealistic. You know, um, I have plenty of patients I have done more with in comparison to how the professors presented themselves. And you can only act a certain way to a certain degree, but when you are facing someone who has maybe some a Parkinsonian gait, or you're dealing with someone who has a stroke, or dealing with someone who just got is fresh out of an orthopedic surgery, they don't present the same way that a person acting is, and you find yourself still utilizing those skill sets in order to help out those patients, but you're even more um, used to it just because of the way that you get exposed during the lab immersion. And speaking on the prep, I I just finally got access at my site where now I will be doing the full documentation for things. So congratulations to me.
That's right. Congratulations, man. You got the green light.
Got the green light. But with that, that means I now have the ability to go in there and do chart reviews before I start seeing patients. And same
Yep.
thing for lab for school. You only have a certain amount of time, do a chart review, come up with your plan like you stated, and be
Yep.
prepared to go in there and be prepared to change if patient presents any other way that you don't think that they would.
Wow.
Then the name of the game of being a physical therapist is being adaptable. I've learned that in 1 week. You
Yeah.
have to be adaptable. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. That's good stuff, man. That's really good. As far as like this second week, do you have any special goals that you're wanting to accomplish while you're in the clinic?
Um, I want to be more vocalized about my recommendations for discharge. It's just I never thought that I would be a part of that conversation like this, or the conversation looked like the way that it did. Because
Yeah.
you're truly on a healthcare team when you are doing discharge recommendations. It's you with the speech therapist, with the occupational therapist, with the physician, with RNs. Like there's a whole board of people who are advocating for what a recommendation for the next step after our place. So one of these times, I just want to be able to give report based on um, the patient and what we did during our sessions, and have some type of opinion when it comes to patient recommendation for discharge. What about you?
Yeah. That's really good. Good that you talked about that because I feel like um, a lot of times we aren't vocal enough inside of those meetings. I feel like, therapy, we kind of take the back seat. They kind of speak over us, what nursing does in some instances, right? Although I want to say I do love nursing, there's nothing against nursing, but I just believe that us as therapists should be more vocal about what we believe and I would say give our best medical advice on the patients, as far as like discharge planning and things like you were just talking about, just because, we are probably the second most people who get to do hands-on work with the patient, if not the first. I know nursing staff get to work with them as well, but they aren't direct hands-on like 24/7 the entire time they're seeing them. They have multiple patients. So, and we're assessing everything from bed mobility to transfers to ambulation to, all of it. And just I think that we should definitely advocate for ourselves, or for the patients much more in those meetings. So I'm with you on that. Um, for me in my second week, I believe that um, I just really I want half of my PTs, my CI's caseload. I'm just ready to take his caseload. I'm just like,
This guy here.
I'm just going. I'm just going.
This guy.
I'm just saying, you know, I I definitely love learning, and I appreciate it all. Like I said, I definitely don't know it all, and I know I will never know it all, but I definitely, I want, I'm just waiting for it. I know we're gonna get more and more as the weeks keep coming, so I'm just looking forward to that, and I'm enjoying the learning process throughout it all, for sure.
I'm looking forward to getting more cases underneath my belt. Um, just having a little bit more responsibility on helping and just getting my hands into the fray of the interventions. But my
Yeah,
CI has done a wonderful job of having a pretty good pace and understanding and acclimating to my strengths and my weaknesses very quickly. So
yeah,
I appreciate I appreciate her and the entire staff team um, for this clinical experience so far. And yeah, definitely shout out to the nurses though, because this was my
that's what I'm
first
saying.
time. This is
They're great.
I've actually, I'll be honest here. The only job that I had in a physical therapy setting was being a tech
Hmm.
before I got into school. I never worked in a hospital before, so I never had any type of just like how to understand how a hospital is ran outside of
Right.
the things that we learned. So, um, I had to clean a couple of patients, first week. I had to get my hands dirty. I had to, rely on other people on the healthcare team in order to assist like me getting a patient prepared in order
Mhm.
to, even get to physical therapy. So I just if people in different healthcare roles and jobs are listening to this, I just wanted to publicly say thank you, for all you do for the patient. We truly are a team, and I just can't. I'm very excited to get into the ring and be able to provide and work with just everybody. So,
For sure. I definitely want to piggyback on that. Like talking about how it's a team. It was truly a team just to make sure the patients are receiving the best care, and we're extending, what they already have, and then just giving them all the tools in order for them to return home or just live the functional lifestyle that they, once live or want to live. So we're here with you guys that are other medical professions as well. So we appreciate y'all for sure. For
absolutely.
sure.
Well, this is actually getting towards the end of our episode. I feel like the
Yeah.
time goes by so quickly once we get
Man,
into a role. Um,
dang, that's
but
crazy.
we just been really really busy when it comes to getting into our clinical sessions, and
Yep.
after the end of our last quarter um with our lab immersion, excuse me, after the end of our last quarter we kind of went into the next one. Then we had lab immersion and then so on and so forth from that. So thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for sending us questions. We keep on sending questions to us. Definitely to Dakivas because he has the best questions.
Stop that, man. So do you, man. So do you. Hey, they want to hear from you too. They're like, please, please answer these questions on the podcast. So, yeah.
But Dakivas, do you have anything else for us for this episode?
Uh, all right, so I don't have anything else, but I do want to say thank you guys for being patient with us, being able to just stick through. I know a lot of y'all have been asking and requesting for us to do another episode, but like Aaron just spoke about, we've been really busy, especially like leading up to where we are now in the program, being in our first clinical rotation. Y'all, we love y'all support. We support you guys. Please ask us more questions and just continue to just give us feedback, and we're open books. So please give it all to us. We wanna answer whatever we can. Um, like I always say, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see y'all soon.